My name is Damali Ssali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Shamim Nirere, who is the founder and team lead of Izere Academy, and she's going to tell us all about it. Shamim, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Damali. I'm so honored to be at the Ideation Corner. It's so beautiful. It sounds so futuristic. Like it's a world of ideas, yes. And I'm part of that.
You're part and parcel now of the
Ideation
Ideation
Corner.
Corner.
For hosting me.
All right. So tell us about Izere Academy.
Izere Education. So Izere Academy is the academy for Izere Education. Izere Education, we are a social business, a social enterprise. I like to say not so for profit, but also not for loss.
Not for loss.
So we have a vision of quality 21st century learning outcomes for all. What does this mean? We have a dream of empowering our young people with quality learning, the education that today's needs asks of them, that today's world of work asks of them, that tomorrow's future of work asks of them. So we empower children with skills in areas of creativity. Can they be creative? Can they be critical thinkers? Can they be problem solvers? Can they be people who communicate? Can they have the digital skills, the global themes knowledge? Can they have the mindset that we need today, the growth mindset? Basically, that's it, and the character, because our skills development is informed by the needs, the needs matrix, like the needs that are the skills that are needed. When you see today, you see that there's a lot of skills. Like we are drowning in a lot of skills. People are skilled, you know. When children are going to university now, they're not learning anything new that you don't know. People already have these skills. So it means that we have a lot of competition, really cutthroat competition. So for our children to thrive in the future of work, they need to have an X factor. They need to stand out. So it means then you're going to on the knowledge, you're going to add on things like your character, your integrity, your brand, what do you bring, what are you known for. It means on top of the knowledge, you're going to add on things like communication. You can communicate and stand out. It means you're going to be a solution thinker. We have a program called Solution Thinkers. It's by far my favorite. It's based on a workbook we created where children actually develop solutions in their communities. We so far have 10 solutions developed by young children. They go through the ideation process, the design thinking, and they come up with solutions for their communities. We so far have like a water filtration system for Kalangala. We so far have a project by a team called MAL. It was Manuela, it was Amisa, and it was Rayan. There were 3 girls, they were 13, and they realized that as young people, they are affected by low self-esteem. Teenagers struggle with esteem. So they created apparel that, it's an apparel company that writes motivational words or inspiring words that you can literally wear your confidence. Then we have a teens table. It was still by some team I'm forgetting. They came up with an idea of saying if we have a lot of teenage pregnancies, we can have a table at every health center that it is addressing teens. It's like an information space for them. The teens. So we have different solutions. And so basically we are trying to create solution thinkers.
When you're teaching the kids, you teach them the traditional curriculum? But then you add on these things.
So we don't do the traditional curriculum because schools are already doing that. We are not really going to reinvent the wheel. Schools are doing that.
That's covered. Yes.
That's covered. Yeah. But then there's so much that's not covered. So we are offering that is not covered in schools.
And these are the 21st century skills that you're looking at.
Yes. So we are looking in it's in 4 areas: knowledge, skills, character, and the mindset. So in the knowledge space, we look at today's child beyond learning the math, English, science. What else do they need? They need digital skills. They need information about the world. They need to know the global trends. They need to know SDGs, for example, and how they can contribute to that. They need to know money and entrepreneurship. It heals the world. They need to know digital money, for example, they need to know this information. They need to know things like programming. We say that today's...
You teach them programming as well?
Yeah, because programming, for example, coding is a language that is as important as numeracy and literacy. And yet today we see that it is just given to a few children whose parents are paying extra money to extracurricular, and it's not in schools.
No.
So we have all that knowledge and we put it there, then we come at skills.
What age groups do you target?
We start from, in areas, we really start from 6 years.
6 to
17.
To 17.
Yeah.
So if a parent has their kid in a traditional school, which most people do, but they want a bit, the 21st century skills that you teach, how do they balance that? My kid is going to Nakasero Primary School, but then I want them to also get these skills. How do they?
So what we do is we work with schools. Okay. We offer this through an online academy where Izere Academy is online. It's online currently. We have so far like 8 courses on there, but we have already 20 courses which are ready to be put. But someone can go there and for just 5K a day, and a child can enroll in a course. So they do it's self-paced, they do it alongside.
Okay, so it's online?
It's online, but then we also do physical. Okay. Physical sessions, the children can pass by in the weekend, in holidays, but then we also work with schools because we want children also to rest in holiday time. So we work with schools. And we provide that. Before lockdown happened, we had gotten Kampala parents on board. Like I said, there are not many schools which understand,
which appreciate this.
Because we really went in schools.
You tried.
We tried.
You're like, this is important for you.
We tried because you see, these schools are really doing a great job. But this job is really not enough. They also know that the future of work is different. These children need some set of skills, and teachers are overwhelmed with work. So we are saying, let's come in, we give you the content, we give you the trainers, just provide space. We can create a maker space in your school. Okay.
So if they have a computer lab or if they don't have a computer lab, how does Izere Academy?
We create low-cost maker spaces in schools and in communities.
What are makers?
The maker space just give us a space like this.
Okay.
Let's make it a space where children create.
Okay.
Where they can come. Here we have cameras today. Communication, for example, if you go to the skills development and you see communication is beyond public speaking. It's communicating in front of cameras. Give us a space. Let's give children space. There are cameras. They can learn communication. They can learn public speaking. They can create things with crafts. They can create things with the programming in the laboratories, in the computer labs. They can create things with maniras. They can create so much. Children can create a lot. They can recycle. Recycling doesn't need technology. So there's a lot you can do. Just create space and create time for that in the curriculum, or
for that activity to happen.
In the class programs. Just create time. Classes can have their own projects. There's a lot schools can do, a lot without really investing so much. We just being deliberate and saying we are adding time for ideation on the classes.
So they're like for P4 every Tuesday at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11. This is what you're doing.
So, for example, the Kampala parents where they have every child has to be in a club. So there's time for clubs, a specific day and from 3 p.m. But then also that time is limited. So if you can have a space that is open and available throughout the week, and even a teacher can say today our mathematics is going to be different. We're going to do it this way. Okay. And there's a lot. Teachers are creative. Teachers can do so much. Just enable them, give them an enabling environment. So.
So you tried with the schools, you got one, but then the lockdown happened. So
there were actually 2. There was also another school called Cherubs. It's a Christian school. I love schools which get it. Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
You seem to have had a lot of experience with it. You tell and they're like, no, thank you.
Because mostly schools want to be the ultimate provider of everything.
But you
can't. Just let... For example, I outsource people who teach for us coding and programming. there are people who are doing that. Bring them and let's work out together. You know, I don't have now to do that. So schools also don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Okay, so when the lockdowns happened, now the kids haven't been in school for 2 years. How did you continue to provide your services now? They're just online because people can still access it.
Yeah, the lockdown was a blessing in disguise.
Oh my God!
We are people who are advocating for 21st century skills, but we are still also doing it traditional way, like doing physical camps. Man, when lockdown happened, the first lockdown, honestly, everybody was clueless. Like very, very. We all didn't know what to do. So I started giving activities. So we offer creative activities that help children to develop their critical thinking skills. Now I started offering, I said already children already know so much. Children actually have information. You just have to help them put that information to use and track it in a way that it is different. It is if it was just memorizing on the level, there are things we call higher order level thinking. There are lower thinking skills and higher. In education we know that. So when they teach you about climate and I ask you what is climate, you're going to tell me what climate is. Now that's a lower level, it's rememorization.
Yes, I'm just regurgitating what I was told.
But when I ask you how does maybe using charcoal at home cause climate change, you're going to think how. Then you're going to get to trees, then how. Then maybe when I say which project can you create that can help in saving the environment. It's one thing we're all learning about climate and climate change, but it is helping you to apply. So we started giving activities for free to parents on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, okay.
For them to engage the children. So eventually we 3 weeks, 4 weeks in, we thought instead of creating new content every week for the children, why don't we just, because we used to categorize them, this is for 4-year-olds, this is 6-year-olds, we compiled a workbook and we called it Solution Thinkers Workbook.
And it's an electronic, it's an online workbook?
It's both online and physical.
Okay.
It carries 22 weeks, yes, physical. so we eventually got online and we are now fully online, but still we have maker spaces in communities because we also serve low-income communities which may not be able to afford data to go online to. So if I'm a parent and I do have my 10-year-old who needs to have access, or I want them to have access to this wonderfulness, all they need to do is to go online and Google Izere Education. Izere Education on Facebook and our academy is really academy.izereeducation.org and they are good to go. However, I always want to give why is it important. Our children who are born after 2010, maybe now they are like how old, I don't know, they're younger than 3D TV. Our children, the knowledge they need today is really different from what we are giving them, and we are limiting them because they are growing up in a digital economy, they are growing up in a global economy. So we need to change our education. We need to really change our education so that it suits this child, because they're going to get out and we have a gig economy which is growing, for example, where you just have to bring value to the table and children don't have to first finish university to bring that value. So we want children to start really earning from their skills, bettering their skills. If someone started something right now as a 5-year-old or 6-year-old, they are growing. By the time they are 17, they have over like 12 years experience.
Actually, yeah.
So they are going to be transforming their communities. They see that they can actually do these things. Yeah.
Actually, I was giving a talk earlier today about the creative economy. So before I could give it, of course, I had to do some research, and I saw UNCTAD was saying that it is growing by 3%, contributing 3% to the global GDP, the creative economy. And it was, by 2015, it was worth about $509 billion. So when you talk about the creative economy, the gig economy, and the young people who are coming up who can even earn as they're young.
They can earn.
There was a young kid in Nigeria who does art. He's fantastic at doing art, and they kept posting it online. And eventually people started buying the guy's art piece. He was 9. And he was earning a lot of money out of that while he's studying.
Let me give you an example right now. In our O-level curriculum, we study, before I forget, our O-level curriculum is really good, the new one. So in O-level, children are taught creative writing, paper one English, how do you write imaginative composition, even in primary actually. But look at the social media industry, it is growing, copywriting is growing by leaps and bounds. And we've been looking for someone, for example, someone to manage my social media. I can't even afford them. I can't. Now imagine how many young people are earning money from that. Just writing a blog.
Yeah. Creatively thinking about it, then writing, then they earn a living.
And now we are shooting here. There how many people involved in this? They're editing, you know, they are graphic designers. There's a lot our children can learn.
Photographing,
You know, we are now outsourcing this work from Fiverr. But we don't have Ugandans there. There are not many. The ones who are there, they are graduates who finished school. But you're competing with Asian kids who are on Fiverr providing web design skills and graphic design under 5 hours for less money, for cheap money. So they're 15, they're earning so much money. There's a lot our children can do. So instead of just saying, you know, our education doesn't prepare our children for this, what are we doing about it?
Let's do it. Let's prepare them by using other means. So you have, I'm surprised you have, so you have actual curriculums for O-level, and then you have A-level, and then primary?
So our curriculum are based on years.
Okay.
So if we are teaching communication and speaking and confidence building for a 5-year-old, really,
it's different.
It's different from a teenager. And actually, these resources are available because we also are a social enterprise. We say, are you willing to teach them in your school? Come and get them. We give you teachers training and support.
You're also training the teachers if they want to, you can train them.
Yes, because
teachers.
Is it at a fee? Yeah, it is at a fee because we are not funded to do our work, so we need to look for ways of making the money. So because teachers are stakeholders in education, if you do not transform a teacher and give them the mindset to know that their education is to change in their classroom, you're not going to achieve much. But when they know that things have changed, the child you're teaching in your class, you're preparing them for a certain future that looks like A, B, and C, they will know the need, and then they will do it. So we also do in communities where children really are struggling with esteem, for example.
Yeah, you mentioned community. Which communities are you working in?
We're currently in Kamocha, in Gulu, in Kanungu, where I come from, and we are developing a prototype of low-cost maker spaces, so that at the end of the day,
I know you mentioned it, but what is a maker space in normal
a maker space is like I said, a maker space, like an innovation space, like a space where people can come and make. They can make crafts. They can make
space.
Yeah, like today we had an activity and they were making their names and they actually did this for me. So, but they have our typical maker space has a library. They can come and read. It has computers. They can come and do digital skills. We want to have like cameras so that we have photography. We want to have crafts. They can do crafts. We have recycling. They can do art. They actually really do art. Okay. And then now, because in communities literacy levels are very down, now we also have some literacy development activities. So we're developing a prototype, a low cost that can be managed with little money. So at the end of the day, we call upon people to say, do you have a village? Where do you come from? Please put this maker space there.
Okay, it's low cost, and you can. So that's why you're piloting it now to prove the concept that it can work, it can be sustained.
Because it can actually work, and people in communities can transform children's learning.
For how long have you been running this pilot?
The pilot for the makerspace, it's just started like 2 months ago, but Izere Academy, we've been running it since 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm a teacher, I'm passionate about education, but good quality education,
not just
good quality education.
Yes.
There's no reason why.
Yes.
There's a child we coach who is from the UK. He was 8 when we started coaching him last year, and he made a project. There's a time we were done in public speaking, and I asked him make a project for public speaking, and the next week he brought a PowerPoint presentation of 3 hours. PowerPoint? Yes, recycle, reuse, and reduce about plastics has blown away. 8 years. 8 years old. I said I learned PowerPoint after university.
Some people learn it at work.
Yes, but now our children, I'm glad that COVID has disrupted things. And now children...
You're the few people who is like, COVID.
No, children, now our children are online. They believe that actually someone can learn online. It's a win. We would have achieved this in 10 years or 20.
It's true. Actually, it was, I recently finished Harvard Business School leadership program. Ooh, it's an executive program. So I was supposed to go there physically, but then because of COVID, eventually they're like, you know what, we're going to have to the entire program online. It was an intense program, full curriculum, full throttle, you're doing all the work, but everything is online. So we are like 52 in all the continents, you know, people from Colombia, Brazil, America, China, but we were all in this digital classroom. And as I was engaging with it, I realized that, you know what, I wish Makerere University could do this. We could provide high quality education to the entire African continent with people wherever they are, whether they're in Nigeria, they're in South Africa. But Makerere University is providing that, then provides you with a legitimate certificate because you've gone through the entire curriculum. So we need to, I feel like, innovate and go electronic, go digital, and educate online, which is what you're doing.
But it's even cheaper. Because in the end of, in future, I want our maker spaces to be able to have remote classrooms, like you can have a teacher, you can come in and teach something to our children remotely, and I can do all of them. Yes, to all the spaces in one go. I'm sitting somewhere in Kampala and this is happening. The things are actually possible. Just have to be intentional and flip the coin of education. Yeah, I like that you're also trying to figure out a low cost way of doing it. Because, like you said, for these communities, like now, there are some communities which you can't get high-end things, but they also they're talented. Yeah. That's the thing. They're also incredibly talented. There's a boy who is our trainer for robotics. He's self-taught. He's a self-taught engineer. From those kids, because they come from a place of lack, they don't have toys. They have created things. They have that creativity in them because it hasn't been killed. So they have to create. They have to figure out how to play. They're actually very skilled, very gifted, but you see, they are struggling to have a meal or 2 meals a day. So for a parent there, it's not a priority. Whether a child can read at 9 years, it's not a priority. It's food. Food is the priority. But those are children who are coming in your makerspace. Yeah, and also they're coming in future, the human resource. So how are we preparing them to cross the divide of a child who is in Kampala parents and a child who is just across? Just a road over. Because when we onboarded Kampala parents, what we do when we get a client who is paying, we onboard a child in low-cost community. Oh, nice. That's how we are able to do this. So when we onboarded Kampala parents, which I thank so much, they are so open-minded. It's a beautiful school. We onboarded East Kololo. It's a primary school. It's in Naguru, in a neighborhood. But in a poor neighborhood. Yeah, but children who pay like 50K a term. It's a USC school. Yes, it's a KCCS school. It's very low cost, but they can't pay for SAT. So we onboarded them because these children really, we need to bridge the digital divide. Yeah, we have to bridge the gap. So these kids go to Kampala. The Kolo school kids go to Kampala? No. We set up a space in their school. Yeah. Is some of the money you get from Kampala parents you put like we have to help the next door school that is poor? So that's really nice. Indirectly, Kampala parents is actually supporting them. But please, after COVID, please KPS, please, our club should start again. I mean, that's how change happens because we can't wait. Government is really doing good. It's doing a lot already. We need to support government and. Someone recently, friends corrected some money, mobilized some money for us at the makerspace, and this gentleman, Don Muzaffar Chimbugwe, he said when he sees things called from the American people, this aid from America, he said, what about ways from Ugandan people? Yes. You know, we can pick from 1K from your pocket, 10K, and can actually transform something. Yeah. So we need leadership in our communities to do these things. And we need local, I am a firm believer in local capital, local aid, local support, local we need to help ourselves local programs, local high impact things. Because now it's someone like you who is able to think about, okay, I get KPS, but then also the Kololo local school, I can tweak it. Then also there's Kamocha there. How do I make it cheap? Yes. It has to be someone like you, and then you can develop something that is sustainable. Because then it's owned by the community. So it's not a project. Because you're not going to wake up tomorrow and leave Uganda. So for you, it's not a project that has 3 years and it's done. And that's what happens to a lot of aid. It's a project, it's 3 years.
And it ends in 3 years, everything ends.
And people in low-cost communities are also used to a lot of such projects.
Yeah.
So now we are dealing with the mindset of saying, mutuachi, what are you giving us? But now we get them to actually be involved. The trainers there are not our trainers; they are from their community.
Oh, you train?
We train them. We reskill them.
Train. Okay.
So what we do is, our model is we get young people in the community to come and do some gig work at the space. So we reskill them.
Then you pick out those ones who are...
Yeah, so they also in exchange, they learn about project management, they learn about those skills, they develop, they know, they become para-educators, they earn some small money, but they also develop some skills and they are transforming their community. Yes. So it's not like... It's not like me as a savior coming from somewhere to come. No.
You're saving yourselves.
Yeah, you are. Because when I go to Karamoja, I'll not be someone who is not from there. Because what has also failed is people who come from some other place and
you're from without and then you go.
They look at it as if it's fallen, you know. Yeah. So you're the savior. Okay, so
and then when you go with your saving.
So we want to really change it and make it low cost for all of us. And sustainable.
Because the sustainability. And in a way, I feel like you're working on the sustainability by making sure it's the people in the community who you train to then do these things. Eventually, they could leave the community, but then also that is also good because other kids in that community are like, wait a minute, he was able to leave this place. Now he's going.
Even the kids themselves, we train and we see that this one is really outstanding. We reskill them, we support them, and then they can go and train.
Then they can train others.
Yes, because they are learning more. They are now keeping their skills interested, so they don't drop their things. So it's a win-win at the end of the day.
Okay, I'm so glad, and everything is online.
It's both online and physical. It's online for the people who can do online, but it's physical for those communities
who can't afford the data and everything, because it's expensive getting online, unfortunately.
Yeah, but in future when we have computers or desktops in our spaces, they would also be able to get online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So, unfortunately, we've run out of our time. Are there any last words, any message you want to emphasize?
There's a speech I watched many years ago, not very many, from Chimamanda. She said she was calling on people, Chimamanda Adichie, where she was calling people to be feminists, and she made a case for feminism and all. Now me, I want to make a case for education and ask everybody to be educators. Let's all be educators. In your home, if you're a parent, you go to work, you see how things have changed at work. Don't wait for schools to teach those skills to your children. Come home, put in a few minutes every day and say, let me develop this child's communication skill. Let me ask them how their day was. Ask them to watch news. Tell them to give you a report. Ask them if you see that they lack confidence, build their confidence. Give them some work on your computer if you have it. We're always on Zoom these days. Engage them, let them set up something for you. They know these things. So let's all be educators in our homes. Let's all be educators and transfer the need for education change to even our schools. When we go to schools, don't pressurize schools to deliver fours only. Also remind them, how are you developing these children's creativity? How are you developing them to do this? So let's all be advocates for education.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. There you had it from Shamim. Thanks for watching.